Good morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And today's topic is one foot in front of the other. And what we're going to be talking about is allowing life to lead when we're unsure, when we're uncertain, allowing life to unfold and direct us. So before we get started, though, let's take a minute or two to get present. Let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding into your lungs, flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing all your cells and your organs, and bringing vital life energy to your body and being. And as you exhale any tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. This time, imagine brilliant, bright light lighting you up from the inside out, illuminating, electrifying, and energizing all your cells, all your molecules, all your electrons. And as you exhale any remaining tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's just gently press our palms together and very softly rub your fingers against your palms. Feel that tickling, that tingling, that wonderful sensation, and allow that sensation to bring you present right here, right now, to this remarkable physical form that enables you to experience life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. It is Monday and the 16th of May. It's tomorrow's election day. Make sure you get out and vote. Whatever your vote, make sure your voice is heard. And so we're talking about one foot in front of another. What is it of the other? What does it look like when we're uncertain, when we're unsure of how to proceed in life, when we're unsure of what our next steps are? And or maybe we're overcome with grief, or maybe we're overcome with fear or despair or any kind of emotion, and really just overwhelmed. What we can do is just simply put one foot in front of the other. And I think in order to do that, it requires a level of trust and faith or confidence that there's some greater force at work. And that if we can allow ourselves to follow the direction of our calling, to be putting one foot in front of the other and allow whatever is unfolding, and then be responsive to that unfoldment. Good morning, Rosalind. Good afternoon, Pat. Wonderful to have you guys with us this morning and your afternoon, Pat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're talking about putting one foot in front of the other, and when we do that, when we allow ourselves the faith and confidence to do that, even in the face of the unknown, or especially in the I don't know what's going on with my voice today, but especially in the face of the unknown, when we allow ourselves to continue to put one foot in front of the other, it's really remarkable how grace can intervene, and things can become more clear. And that's not to say there is merit certainly in stopping, and allowing ourselves the pause, allowing ourselves the opportunity to to be circumspect, to find stillness. There are certainly advantages to that as well. But Rosalind says it seems some sort of element of faith or truth is part of it guiding the path. Yes, I think that's true. You know, that when we allow ourselves to put one foot in front of the other, we're stepping into the unknown. You know, when we don't know which way to go or whatever, and we allow for some kind of faith that that things are going to work out, or that we're guided, or faith that things are going to work out. What does that mean? Work out in what way? You know, it's so interesting how I think when we allow ourselves the curiosity to see how things emerge, to really be present to curiosity with a bit of a confidence that that things are going to unfold as they should, as if there is a should, right? But it kind of goes back to the underlying belief or faith that life is happening for me and through me rather than to me. And so if we allow ourselves to be operating from that premise, speaking to, as you said, Rosalind, faith or truth, that if we can operate from the assumption that life is happening for me and through me rather than to me, then we can have the confidence and the faith to continue to step into the unknown, to step forward, put one foot in front of the other, and to continue on our journey, to continue even in the face of uncertainty. And there's a certain adventure that is part of that too, you know, to say, I wonder what's going to happen next. You know, I wonder how this is going to play out, instead of projecting our worries and fears forward. Good morning, Lisa. So good to have you here with us this morning. We're talking about putting one foot in front of the other. And I'm not talking about plodding forward. I'm talking about being present to stepping into possibility. Yeah, I think that so often, you know, it's times of heightened uncertainty that we might even feel more alive. And we might feel more alive because of that uncertainty, because we're unsure, because we don't know how things are going to play out. So there's maybe a heightened sense of presence. There's, you know, when we think we know something, or we know where we're going, we often lose our awareness and we just go through the motions. And I think when there's uncertainty, there's a greater sense of aliveness. Not that I'm advocating that state, although we can take uncertainty into a place where we don't have fear, right? Because then life becomes an ever unfolding adventure. If we're present to uncertainty, if we can be curious about life, then there's a greater sense of engagement, right? And that's not, it can be born out of fear or anxiety or nervousness, but it can also be born out of a sense of enthusiasm and excitement and curiosity. And what would it be like if we could approach life with this anticipation, this positive anticipation of what might be possible? You know, like what, going to the grocery store, what kind of wonderful adventure am I going to have? You know, so there's positive expectation that is in its way putting one foot in front of the other instead of trying to go directly to the end goal, right? Like, I'm just thinking, for instance, of grocery shopping. You know, when we think about going grocery shopping, I don't know about you, but typically when I think about going grocery shopping, I think about, okay, what am I going to get? I go grocery shopping and then I come home and then I unpack the groceries. And, you know, like that's the whole of the experience. And when the focus is on, you know, getting the groceries, getting them home, getting them unpacked, then I miss out on the experience of the process. And we've talked about how life itself is the process itself. Life is the process. It's not having the groceries. It's the whole process of thinking about getting the groceries, going the voyage itself to get the groceries, the shopping for the groceries, the discovery of whatever is there that you hadn't discovered before, the encounters that you have. It was so interesting. I went grocery shopping the other day to a store that I don't often go to. And when I have gone in the past, I've gone to go and find the thing I want and pick it up and go check out. And this time I decided to just really be there and see what was there and explore it. And it was an entirely different experience. And in the process, several people had conversations, initiated conversations. And I had some really lovely encounters there. And it was such a different experience from going to the grocery store, going to find my groceries, going to the checkout line, getting out of there, getting things packed into my car, and then getting home and, you know, like not being present to the process itself. So Rosalind says showing up is sometimes half of it. I think, Rosalind, showing up is all of it, right? But Rosalind continues, then do we become hypersensitive? So then do we become hypersensitive for synchronicity to validate our next step? Yes, yes, yes. If so, our nature already knows the choice to make. I agree with you, Rosalind, that when we show up, first of all, life has an entirely different quality, right? Because instead of being a doingness, we're being a beingness. You know, we're being human beings in the course of living our lives and getting some stuff done, right? It's a whole different thing. It's a whole different animal. And that's where the richness of our lives comes, right? When we're actually engaged And so when we think about putting one foot in front of the other, sometimes we think about that as robotic, we're just plodding along. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about courageously stepping into life and allowing ourselves the experience of it, allowing ourselves to be actively engaged in its unfolding, actively present to what might unfold, and welcoming that with a certain enthusiasm and anticipation, because it makes for a very, very different experience of life, rather than being being focused on, I have to go get the groceries. Well, what if I get to go grocery shopping now? Oh boy, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what kind of goodies I'm going to find? So I have to share, because it was so amazingly delicious. When I was at this grocery store that I don't normally go to, they had a prepared foods refrigeration area, and I saw this cinnamon rolls, raw vegan cinnamon rolls that were made with apples and dates and cashews and walnuts and cinnamon and all kinds of other stuff. And oh my gosh, I treated myself to them. There were these 2 little rolls, and they were crazy expensive, I thought, but that's all relative. But anyway, I treated myself, and oh my gosh, wonderful, wonderful, delicious. What a treat. What a gift, and it was because I was allowing myself to put one foot in front of the other with a sense of curiosity, and discovered other things too that were pretty awesome. So Rosalind says, make the coffee. No coffee made yet. Sitting with you all to drink in this conversation. Well, so glad to have you making yourself comfortable. Be present to making the coffee, Rosalind. Smell it, hear the water as it's going through the coffee machine. I'm guessing it's a coffee machine. Or notice it as you're pouring it through the press, the French press, or whatever it is that you're doing. Be present to it and feel the sensations and smell it and experience it even before you drink it, to make the experience that much richer. Like, really be present to what it is that you're doing. And so this whole notion of one foot in front of the other today is about being conscious of our steps, being present to our footfall. And the more we get to do that in life, the richer life becomes. The more we can revel in its deliciousness for each simple thing. The other day we have oh my gosh, now I'm forgetting the name, and I want, it's so funny. I want to say anemones, but anemones are the sea creature. And oh my gosh, it's so funny. I can't remember the name of this flower at the moment. Maybe you can divine what I'm trying to say. Anyway, they're these gorgeous, gorgeous flowers. I adore these flowers. They're just so delicate and beautiful. And azalea, no, they're not azaleas. Anyway, they open up big and beautiful, and they are They bloom every year in my backyard. And they are the highlight, one of the highlights of my living where I do, because every year they just come out and light up the whole property. They light up my heart. I can't even tell you. So anyway, these gorgeous flowers are starting to come up. Like they came up and we had a bunch of rain and they just came up out of nowhere. And the buds are these beautiful bulbs. You know, they're just like these round, vibrant, colorful little balls. Not so little, maybe about this big. And then when they open, they just burst forth and they're incredible. And so I was outside and I was just looking at them, and I was watching a wasp that was going from bud to bud to check out these different flowers that hadn't yet opened. And I was just entranced. You know, it was just, I had that opportunity to be really present to the way that the leaves were dancing in the breeze, even though I wasn't even aware of the breeze, but they were being rustled and it was like they were just dancing with excitement. It was so cool to be able to be really present to that experience and all the sounds and all the birds. And it was so rich. And it makes me think about how lovely it would be to be so tuned more of the time. So Rosalind says, espresso stovetop kettle. Did you use the air fryer yet? I have used the air fryer and I'm still perfecting my technique. There's a learning curve on it for sure. I had tried to fry some things without oil. That didn't work out very well. I had sort of flour dredged some broccoli and it just was kind of nasty. And then I got an atomizer for oil, and also a silicone perforated sheet to put in the bottom of the air fryer so that it would be easy to clean. And I did some cauliflower that came out better. And I'm making progress. So if you guys have any air fryer tips, that would be great. I'd really appreciate them. But anyway, so adventure and curiosity. I'm just looking up something to see if I can find this flower. And I was right. They are, wait a second. No, they're not anemones. I thought they might be, but they're not anemones. Anyway, I'm going to remember as soon as, thank you, Lisa. I thought it was an anemone, but it's not. I'm going to remember as soon as we're done this morning, I'm sure. But anyway, when we allow ourselves to consciously put one foot in front of the other, when we consciously allow ourselves to step into the richness of life, there's such vitality and joy and discovery that's available to us. Wonder, joy, beauty, all that great stuff when we allow ourselves to be present to putting one foot in front of the other. Good morning, Veronica. Welcome. So good to have you here with us. I don't recognize your name. If you've been here before, I welcome you back. And if it's your first time, great to have you. Today we're talking about one foot in front of the other. And, so we're talking about the positivity of putting one foot in front of the other. And sometimes that's the very best we can do. Sometimes, okay, well, great to have you here with us, Veronica. I hope you join us again on a regular basis. You're always welcome here. So talking about sometimes, when life is really challenging, the best we can do is put one foot in front of the other. And that can be a profound act of courage also. And so I want to acknowledge that sometimes it takes courage to just keep going. And there's lots of reasons for us to be in despair, and we get to choose otherwise. We get to choose vitality and possibility, and we get to be active creators of our experience, of our lives, and of our experience. And so I think that's it for this morning. Tomorrow is voting day, at least here in Pennsylvania. So get out and vote, make your voices heard. And that's it for this morning. I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection. And I go live each weekday morning here on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page at 9 a.m. Eastern. And I invite you to please check out the other awesome programming on Enlightened World Network, Enlightened World Living, EWN One with the Earth. And until next time, I'm just so grateful to you for your engagement and your presence here, and for all that you do to stand up in the world. And so much love.